Hi, everyone. Harry here to talk about preemptive pardons. And man, this is a mess. Typically, at the end of an administration, there's a lot of pardons to be considered. It's not unprecedented, for example, to give to a family member, as Biden did to Hunter. I've also argued separately it was a justified pardon because Hunter had been treated unfairly based on his name, and that's a reason to extend clemency at the end, but it necessarily politicized things and torqued things up even more. And Hunter was one of, depending on how you count, 50, 100 more on different enemies lists that Trump and people in Congress and Kash Patel have made 100% clear they want to try to prosecute, even though the prosecutions would be completely illegitimate. So let's see, any member of the January 6th committee, but especially Adam Schiff and Liz Cheney. For what? Nothing, but the subtext here is if you go after someone criminally, you can make their lives miserable. You can make them spend all kinds of money. You can distract them from any sort of work. You can dirty them up and their public reputation. We're now talking about a new senator and Liz Cheney who needs to reconstruct her life. So there's that level of people. There's just normal people who Trump wants to stamp out because they just crossed him as he sees it. Michael Cohen would be a good example, but Cassidy Hutchinson, it looks like Bill Barr, anyone who, basically wasn't fully loyal as he saw it. So that is a horrifying, deeply anti-constitutional prospect. So what do you do now if you're Joe Biden? And so the reports are coming in that there's all kinds of sort of high-level caucusing of doing pardons that in a normal world, I mean, certainly in a world where everyone played fair and you could count on them to follow the rules, you wouldn't have to do. And even in a normal political, somewhat down and dirty world, you wouldn't have to. But you're about to surrender the reins of power to a vengeful madman who has no lookout whatsoever for the normal limitations on prosecutions. Indeed, has asserted that he's going to be completely involved, even though that's a rank violation of the way we've done things, and that has been what's permitted us to say we pursue justice without fear or favor since at least Watergate. So imagine now the intricate and difficult discussions in the White House. Do you issue a just blanket kind of pardon? And it needs to be blanket, by the way, as it was for Hunter. An unusual feature of the Hunter pardon was it's full and unconditional to try to keep Trump or the AG or Patel from coming back with a new kind of charge. So you have to worry about that. But talk about a political move. It would be the most, in a sense, politicized, broad use of pardons in American history. On the other hand, it would be done to blunt as best one can what otherwise will be a completely improper, anti-constitutional corruption of the prosecutorial process. So, pardons already are discretionary. We talked about this with Hunter Biden, involve a whole kind of brew of political and legal and equitable considerations. Presidents are very aware of how they can affect the president's legacies. I think people agree. I think it's the case that Biden, especially since he said he wouldn't, took a hit in granting a pardon to Hunter. So now he has to consider really going out with what would be a kind of breathtaking use of the pardon power, but a constitutional one to try to blunt what would otherwise be a sort of reign of terror. So what do? Do you just play by the rules, even though there's going to be this terrible wave of unfairness coming and you're the only one who can do anything about it? And now, do you do it selectively? It's clear that if you pardon everybody in sight, you will arm Trump with a very strong position that it was Biden and the Dems who politicized things. Of course, that won't be accurate historically, but it will be in response to, or kind of anticipated reaction to, what would otherwise be this whole series of prosecutions of vengeance. So anyway, that's what's happening now in the White House. They got about a month or so. And does he try to protect the ones who are most at risk, like Michael Cohen? Does he try to protect the ones who could be most damaged or most unfair to go after, like Adam Schiff or Liz Cheney? Does he include all kinds of other offenders? You have Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader, now saying, don't just do them, do a lot of regular people, as one does often at the end of administration, who the federal government and justice have disserved by putting them in for too long. It is really an intricate mess. And because it's bound up in, you can try to play, and maybe this will be the ultimate answer, you can try to play it straight and depart only minimally from what would otherwise be your practice in recognition of what looks pretty damn likely to be Trump's practice once the reins of power come to him. But is the right thing to do, the presidential thing to do, the statesmanlike thing to do, to try to have one tangible check on Trump's power before he can exercise it? That's some really intricate and historical, legal, political conversations going on now at the highest reaches of the White House, and something to really follow closely in the next 5 weeks. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.